Black Friday is a period when brands are earning up to 60-70% of their annual revenue. So that's why you want to maximize your Q4. So today I'm bringing you proven Facebook ads blueprint for record-breaking Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So we're going to cover pre-launch phase, how to define your offer, when to launch it, what are some of the technical stuff, what to do when the offer is live, how to optimize the ad account, how to scale, what are some additional tips and tricks, and how to ensure there's a smooth transition when the sale ends. But before all of that, I want to showcase you examples of the ad account that we managed. So 2023 in November, we spent over 7 mil. So our results speak for ourselves. But year before, we took it to the extra level. So last year, we spent almost 17 mil on 17 accounts for our internal brand and clients. If anybody has learning, that's us. So this is not just speaking vague, it's speaking based on the results. Obviously, some of these brands are like 8 and 9-figure brands, but still 90% of the stuff would be applicable to you as well. Before you start, there are two crucial things that you need to know. One is that you have to sort your inventory. Obviously, if you're drop shipping, that could be a bit easier. But if you're a legit brand, you have to know that the worst thing that can happen is that you ran out of inventory and basically you missed all the potential profit that you could get. Another thing is make sure you don't have an account spending limit. This happened 5 years ago in one of my ad accounts. On Black Friday, we spent 10K and then it just did not spend anything else. By the time I reach out my Facebook rep, when she increased the spending limit, it was already Monday. So definitely check with your account reps to ensure that you don't have a spending limit. If you do, make sure that they increase it. Okay, now probably something that is going to make or break your performance in Q4, it's an offer. There are a couple of things that you want to know when to start. So every year brands are starting earlier and earlier. Probably what I would suggest as the earliest option is to start on the 1st of November. Another option could be start on the Monday in the week of Black Friday, and the least option is to start on a Thursday, basically just the day before Black Friday. If you start early, you're capitalizing on a lower CPMs because not all of brands are still advertising. Negative side, it could be cheapening your brand because if you're for a month on a discount, people would not look you maybe in the same eyes. So I cannot give you advice here. That's really depends on your business goals. In terms of the end date, you can either end the sale on Cyber Monday, which most brands do, and there are a couple of brands that extend that sale after the Monday, but be mindful that, again, Cyber Monday is in December this year. So if you're going to compare your month over month, year over year performance, there's no way that your November would be higher than the last year when the Cyber Monday was also in December. You can obviously extend the sale, but probably the performance would be worse after Cyber Monday, regardless of you leaving the offer. If you're going to start earlier, it makes sense that you have a different offer at the start of the month, and then as you're approaching Black Friday to switch on a different offer, because people would be fatiguing of the same offer during the whole month. What are the options in terms of the offer? So it would be good if you already tested like that. You had options with the Prime and with the Labor Day, which are pretty good indicator whether the offer you want to run on Black Friday makes sense to run actually on Black Friday and whether it's getting traction. Obviously, the easiest option is to have a discount code, but it takes most of your margins. So option is to have only specific collection discounted, and then you can say something like, hey, save up to, let's say, 50%, although everything else is 20%, but that one collection can be 50%. That allows you to be better with the messaging because more people would click on an ad that says 50% off compared to 20% off. But just be mindful that if you do that, some of the customers would feel like they're tricked because you're giving them up to 50, but in reality, everything else is 20. Another option is gift with a purchase. Good thing is it does not cheapen your brand, and it could work if the product that you are giving away has a high perceived value. So basically, if you're just giving socks, I don't think nobody would care. But if you're giving something that has a high perceived value and it costs you, let's say $10, but you're selling it for 70, then it makes sense for you to give it for free because it protects your margin. You can also start try to give away product that you want to get rid of if you have too much stock, but be mindful then in that case, performance could be worse than the discount. So not sure is that the route that you want to go in the biggest period of the year. Then definitely my favorite offer is bundles, which help with your AOV and does not hurt your margin. So basically, even if you give a bigger discount, you're okay giving a bigger discount on a higher AOV product because your margins are better. You can either combine multiple complementary products in a bundle, let's say protein shake, creatine, and pre-workout, or you can do more of the same product. Let's say 3 protein shakes or 3 serums. That's why you see these offers very popular in skincare and in supplement, where you can combine the products. And if you want to be really aggressive, you can do offers like buy one, get one free, and let's say buy 3, get 2 free. Obviously, the most aggressive offer that you can run is buy one, get one, but make sure that you have margins to support this offer. In terms of the technical stuff, before we jump into the ad account, define a theme of your sale. It doesn't make sense that one color you're using in the ads and the email and like on the website, people see different fonts and different colors. So you want to have everything aligned. Make sure that you have a countdown timer on your website. I know it sounds scammy to us marketers, but regular people actually think that's a real thing and they act on that. Make sure that you have banners on your website. You're going to be having a lot of people landing on your website that are coming from the evergreen ad. So when they see that you have an offer, that they're more inclined to buy. So definitely make sure that you communicate the offer on your website. If you can, have pre-applied discount code. So instead of someone typing Black Friday 50, like have that pre-applied in their cart. Make sure that you have an email calendar and the influencer post calendar so you can notice when there's a certain spike in revenue, although that's maybe not coming from the ads, but it's coming from the other channels. And definitely don't forget to include the gifting angle. There are some people that are buying gifts during Black Friday, so you want to have the messaging like get your Christmas present sorted early, at least in a couple of batches of the ads. Okay, so what to do when the offer is live? So the most important thing is that you need to understand is that Black Friday is a period of capitalization of all of your traffic through the year. So what you potentially can do is lower your targets in October. So you can actually reach more people on a lower CPM. In terms of the budget pacing, you can check your historic data for the last year, and you need to understand what your highest performing days would be. From my experience, this is the day when you launch the offer, the day when the email goes live on the influencer post, and obviously Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You can see here an example of one of the clients where the CPM in October was between 70 and 20, but in November it was between 25 and 30. So basically for the same amount of money, we were reaching 30% less people. That's why we were spending more in October. So we can reach more people, fill the funnel, so then we can convert them in November. Here's also an example of an early VIP launch that we did for one of the brand. Official launch was on the 1st of November, but there was an early VIP launch, and you can see like 200K in just one day, mostly through the email and SMS. Then obviously, a few days later, we launched the ads, and what happened? There was a slightly slower start, but then on a weekend, we had a massive spike where we beaten the day when we did the VIP launch. If there's one takeaway from this presentation and the video, it's do not turn off your evergreen ads. These are the ads that have a lot of social proof. Facebook favorites them, user favorite them. They're going to have a great click-through rate. And if you have your offer communicated on the website, there's a high chance these ads are going to turn out to be the best performing ads in the ad. In terms of what kind of the offers to use, so here's an example from a 9-figure brand, Vessi. It's just image communicating the offer. You can see it's just like Black Friday sale, scarcity, and showcasing a product. Another example for another brand is, again, Black Friday sale, nothing fancy. These are images that are going to mostly scoop up your retargeting, but that's something definitely that you need in your mix. Besides that, you want videos communicating the offer. So when actually here in the video, you can see that we talked about the offer. In this another example, it's a slideshow. Again, see there's a offer communicated right away. So this is the period where you don't want to sell people on your USPs and benefits. This is the period where you want to emphasize your offer. Another example is catalog with Facebook ad copy that's talking about Black Friday. You can even customize your first card in carousel to be around the sale. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. This usually works for the brands that have a lot of SKUs. When people like to swipe and see all the other products, obviously when you mention there's a sale, people are more inclined to buy. And what I also noticed is working is when you combine your evergreen videos, that videos that are good performer, that have good video metrics, you combine them with the offer. Basically, you just put a meme style banner. You can see here it's at the bottom, here it's at the top, where you actually communicate the sale. This way, you're combining the offer, which is good offer that is good, and a good video. And then you make really, really good Black Friday ad. Other ads that you can try is 4-second video view. Basically, it's an ad that consists only out of the offer and call to action. It has high 100% view rate because people are replaying to see the offer, and it often can give you lower CPM. The other ad is long form carousel. Basically, it's a one image divided into 4 or 5. It creates a unique experience on the feed because people want to see what the image is all about. At the end, you get CPMs that are cheaper because Facebook counts that as a sign of engagement. In terms of the audiences that you want to use, I would mostly stick to the broad. Not necessarily you need to create a retargeting stack, which is kind of like consists of your website visitors and video watchers and engagers, because images are going to mostly do retargeting. Obviously, if you want, you can create, but I think you're going to overlap with yourself. You can create an audience stack of online shoppers and engaged shoppers, which you can find in the interest audience. And potentially you can find lookalike of your buyers from the last Cyber Monday, Black Friday period. You go to Klaviyo, you find that segment, and then you create a lookalike out of that, because most likely these people are like window shoppers, people that like to get a good offer. And obviously, if you're okay, or if your client is okay with that, you can run ads to the existing buyers. It really depends what your business goal is. Are you okay with showcasing an ad to existing customers? In terms of the ad account structure, I still keep the same structure when testing all of the regular concepts. It's an ABO, where each concept has 2 to 5 different variations, and you're scaling all of the winners in testing. Additional thing is that you take the winning post ID and put it into Advantage Shopping Plus with all of your winners, but only with clicks, running only on clicks. I don't want Facebook over attributing the sales from view conversions during this high performing period. How to actually scale? As I said, you start increasing the budget in all of your testing ad sets. So you can do it manually, or you can do it with the rules. Manually makes sense if you are not using third-party tracking. So basically, if you're using third-party tracking software, then you cannot rely based on Facebook data. So you cannot set up the rules that are going to be triggered multiple times a day. But if you're making decisions based on Facebook, then you can definitely serve scale, and you can set up the rules that are going to be fired multiple times during the day. You can see all of these ad sets were launched with $500, but we ended up scaling them multiple times. They reached like 5 or 10K. You can see that like when you have these decimals, you know that like it's automatic rule that trigger, because I would never manually increase the budget to 9.2K and 78 cents. But my preferred way of scaling during this period is to do it with a cost cap, where I have a high inflated budget, and then just Facebook spends more if it can, because the conversion rate is higher. And definitely do not forget to scale your evergreen campaigns. As I said, those are the ads that have a proven performance, good click-through rate. So often you'll get more and better performance from your evergreen campaigns than from your Black Friday campaigns. Okay, now we scaled. We had an amazing record Black Friday, but at the end, obviously the end is approaching, and you don't want to keep the budgets high on Tuesday after the Cyber Monday. No matter if you keep the offer, the performance will still be pretty bad. So you want to lower your budgets, you want to lower your caps, because if you're on a cost cap, Facebook cannot learn over a night that Cyber Monday is over. It needs to first spend some data, then see, hey, conversion rate is lower, then stop spending. So I don't want to lose the profit that I made during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So in advance, I lowered the caps. When you're optimizing after that, in the week after Cyber Monday, you definitely don't want to use Cyber Monday data in your decision making, because it would look like everything is great, but it's not going to be. So you definitely want to start making optimization after the sale ended. You want to switch your messaging to Christmas and start highlighting the gifting, and you want to push that offer as long as you have capability to ship for people and that they're going to receive the product before Christmas, because the last thing is you want to run the ads until 20th or like 22nd. People order because they think it's going to get it for Christmas. They did not. Then you get the returns and people complain. So it's operational headache. And then Q5, it's a period between the Christmas and New Year, where a lot of brands stopped advertising because it's the end of the year. So CPMs are cheaper again, but conversion rate is really high. And this especially makes sense if you're in health and beauty or a weight loss, where Q1 is actually better performing period than the Q5 and Q4. So like you start building momentum all the way from the 26th. So I just want to showcase you some of the results from some of our clients. These guys projected 1 mil, but we did 3 mil. Here another brand had a record day of 500K. The third guy thanks me for an awesome job that we did, where we had a couple of record days. So if this is the success that you want to see in your ad account, just book a call with me below. If you have any additional questions about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just put them in the comments. And good luck with your Black Friday.